Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are doing a tutorial on this easy holiday glam for the holidays, obviously. I know it probably doesn't look that super easy and simple, but I swear to you it is. It's so easy, just try it. So I have this kind of like rosy, burgundy, coppery eye paired with dewy, glowy skin, which I love for the winter when it's so like dry and cold and miserable out. I love to pair it just with like dewy, juicy, plump skin. So if you guys want to see how to get this look for the holidays, then just keep watching. I'm gonna start by prepping my skin, and for that I'm using this primer from IT Cosmetics. It is the Your Skin But Better primer. So this is their oil-free makeup gripping base and pore refiner and hydrator for all day grip technology. So normally I love my DEWY Backstage primer, but this one is a little bit more hydrating, which I need right now because it's so freaking cold and wintry where I live. So this one I've really been liking. It's very lightweight, but it definitely makes my makeup last all day. So next are my foundations that I've been loving for like every day recently is this one from YSL. It's the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow. I mentioned this in my November favorites. I just love it. It is a fresh, dewy makeup, natural medium coverage, long-lasting hydration, oil-free. So I would say it's more light medium than straight up medium, but I love it. It just melts into the skin so good. And if you're looking for a more affordable option, check out the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. That one has a very similar texture and feel and finish, and I love that one too, but I love this one just a little bit more. So I am in the shade BD50, and I just apply this with my hands. So I showed this on Instagram stories before, but it's just so easy. So I just apply it straight to the face, and my skin, if you guys see any peeling or flaking, that's just my skin right now. So don't make fun of me if you see something you don't want to see. You've been warned. But yeah, this product just melts into the skin like butter, and it looks so natural, and it actually lasts really well on me throughout the day. So I know like a lot of tinted moisturizers don't really last, but this one really does. So once I have that on, I'm actually going to move to my eyes, and then I'll come back and do the concealer just in case there's a little bit of fallout. And I kind of like to let this product like sink into my skin just a little bit more. So I took a little bit of that foundation and put it on my eyes, so now I'm just setting it with translucent powder just so the shadows blend better. So next I'm just going to take a little bit of bronzer. So my bronzer that I'm using today is the Benefit HOOLA Caramel, and I'm just going to take this and put it in my crease. I feel like doing bronzer in your crease just makes everything a little bit more cohesive, and it's less products that you have to worry about. So I always feel like my bronzer is like the perfect crease transition color. So I'm just swiping that into my crease. You can kind of bring it in to do a little bit of a nose bridge contour as well. Then I'm just gonna add a little bit of that onto my lower lash as well. So this is starting off very basic, and honestly, it doesn't get very advanced, so beginner friendly. Next for my lid, I've been using this shade from LORAC. It is one of their, I think it's called like Cream 3D Shadow or something like that. I'll put the correct name, but it is in this little pot, and it says that it's a cream. I don't feel like it feels like a cream. It feels like a creamy powder, almost like kind of like those bouncy blushes from Bare Minerals. And so this color is called Silk, and it's a gorgeous kind of like a coppery burgundy shade, but it's not super red. It almost has like kind of like a rosy tone to it. So this color is gorgeous. So if you don't feel like going out and buying like a single shadow like this, a really similar shade to that is the color Aura in the Carly Bible palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The Carly Bible one is a little bit more sparkly, if you guys can tell. And then in this Tarte Luxe Eye palette, we have this color right here, which is very similar. So that one's on the end. It's a little bit more reddish toned than the other two, but they're all gorgeous. So those are some similar options if you guys would rather invest in a whole palette than a single shadow. But I'm gonna be using the LORAC today because that's what I've been using, and it's so easy. So I'm just rubbing my finger in the pot, and I'm just going to apply it directly to the lid, and it's so pretty. I know that Hourglass makes kind of like similar shadows as well as Marc Jacobs, but I have not tried those in a color like this. And I don't know, I just really, really love this. It has the perfect amount of shimmer in there. It's not too glittery or sparkly for like every day. And it takes like no time at all to apply these. You could apply with maybe like a sponge tip applicator or like a silicone applicator, but I feel like the best way is honestly just your fingers because you can just feel where you need to put it. So yeah, I've really been loving this shadow. I need to try more colors, but I just love the finish and the formulation, and they do not crease on my eyes at all. So don't be scared that it says a cream. I feel like it isn't really a cream. I don't know. Next, I'm gonna do like a winged liner shape just with eyeshadow, and you can use like any like deep brown that has like kind of like a burgundy undertone to it. So I'm using the Jackie palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm gonna be taking this shade right here. So this shade is not hard to find, just like any like deep brown that has like a burgundy undertone will be good. So I'm just lining my lash line with this first. And this brush is from Tarte. It's like an angled brush with a spoolie on one side. I used to use it for my brows back in the day, but you could use like whatever angled brush. And then I'm just gonna take it and wing it. And you could obviously use like any kind of eyeliner for this, but I feel like the eyeshadow method is so easy and quick. Then I'm gonna take that same shadow and just press it on the lower lash. And then you can go back with your brush that you used before and just kind of blend it out. Then I'm just gonna take my face powder. This is from JOUER, and I'm just using it to blend right at the top, just so it's a little bit more seamless. So that's basically it for the eyes, and then if I have any fallout, I'm just gonna take a foundation brush and just kind of like flick it away before I add my concealer. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of mascara, not too much because I am adding some lashes. And the lashes I'm using today are the Salon Perfect Silk Noir 652s. I got these at Walmart. They're so cheap, and I love how fluffy they are. So they look very natural, but they give you that length that really just opens up your eyes. So I have a pair that I've already worn before, so I'm going to reuse these. Now that I have these on, I'm just like, no, these are not natural at all, but they do look good. Now I'm gonna move on to the under eyes, and I've gone back to an old favorite of mine, which is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. So I have golden beige and light beige. I honestly can never remember which is the shade I'm supposed to use. So we're gonna start off with golden beige and see how that goes. But I'm just gonna apply some right there. A little bit there. And we use a pretty light coverage foundation. So if you need more coverage, just add it with concealer. But I definitely fell back in love with this concealer once I used it recently. I was like, oh, why did I stop using that when I love it so much? Next, I'm just setting that with my ILIA Soft Focus Powder, and I'm just going to press this everywhere that I put my concealer. But that's it. I'm not like baking, like I'm just literally pressing it into the skin with a damp sponge. Then I'm just taking the other side of my sponge that has no product on it and just further pressing that in. Next, I'm going to go in with bronzer. This is the Benefit Hoola that I used earlier, and I'm just going to bronzer with it. Brontor. That sounds like a freaking dinosaur, does it not? Ooh, facelift. Facelift. One of my newest obsessions is this Bare Peach blush from Burt's Bees. I just love it. It just gives like the perfect amount of peachiness. And has a little bit of sheen in there, but not like glitter. Then whatever's left on my nose contour brush, I'm just applying it so my nose doesn't like disappear into my face. Because I feel like sometimes that happens and then it looks really weird. Then for my highlight, I'm taking this L'Oreal Crushed Foil Rose Quartz highlighter. This I've been raving about as well. And I want to make sure I tap off a lot of excess because it is pretty intense if you go straight in, and I'm not really an intense gal when it comes to my highlighter, so I just like to add a little bit, especially to like my flat apples. I have a very flat cheek area, so I'm always like applying like highlighter and blush to try to make them look like more round and rosy. I don't know if it actually works, but I'm gonna just take a little bit on my nose. Okay, so now for the sake of time, I'm gonna do my eyebrows off camera and then come back because it takes me so long to do. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of inner corner highlight, and for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna use the same highlight that I used on my cheeks, and I'm just popping that on the inner corner. I'm gonna take my JOUER Soft Focus Powder, and I'm just going to lightly buff everything together. I usually do this before I do my brows, but I forgot. But this just makes everything look airbrushed and not too intense. So if the highlight was too bright or the blush was too bright, this kind of helps it all mesh together. Now for the lips, I'm gonna take this lip liner from ColourPop. It is in the shade BFF2, and I'm just going to line my lips and kind of fill them in with this. So this is kind of just like a brown colored lip liner with a hint of like burgundy in there. So kind of monochromatic here. For the lipstick, I'm taking Maybelline's Beige Babe, which is a pretty pale nude. If you guys have not seen my top nude lipsticks video, definitely check that out. This is one of them, and so is that lip liner. And so I'm just taking a little bit of this and then just blending it. Then lastly, for setting spray, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix number 2. I love this stuff. You can see by my grimy fingerprints all over it. It is well loved. So this is great because there's no alcohol in there and it's a little bit more hydrating. So here is the finished look. I have been loving this look with or without lashes. If you want to skip those to make it more wearable, I've been doing that a lot too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what other holiday looks you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys next time.
I feel like sometimes you just need to throw in a pair of lashes and remember who the freak you are. Release your inner bad bitch with a pair of these. From Walmart. Kind of like a brown with like a little bit of a burgy. I could go for a burger, honestly. If we're talking about burgy. You see this right here? This is called skill. It's called not getting makeup on your turtleneck. I didn't wipe that off. It's called skill. Skills to pay the bills.